Hey hookers! It's Missy and Leanne with Miss Everly Designs, and today we're going to be discussing beginner's tips. So exciting! Alright, so we got 5 tips for you with a little bit of discussion, and let's hop right into it.
Ooh, let's talk holding your hook and your yarn.
Alright, so first thing we want everyone to know is there is no right or wrong way to crochet.
And that is in every aspect of crochet.
It's an art form. You should not see someone else doing it differently and think that you are necessarily doing it wrong. It is just whatever you are comfortable with. We crochet the same things all the time. We hold our hooks different, our yarn different. Another thing when you're doing your holds is...
That will also help with what style hook works for you.
Correct. Is how you hold your actual hook. So there's the way you hold your yarn for tension, and then there's the way you hold your hook. Mm-hmm. When she taught me like you would hold a pencil.
Yep, just like if you were to hold a pencil, if you're right-handed.
And I immediately held it like this. So this is a knife hold. So I'm called a stabber. I stab the yarn through. You've seen many other ways to hold it, though?
These are not the only two. These are just the two most known, I would say, or at least in our circle.
Yeah, but there's no wrong ways.
Keep in mind, too, the angle of your hook will change the look of your stitches, and there's no wrong way, again, for the angle of your hook. I've seen some people do, when I go, I feel like it's pretty straight, but I definitely know that I pull to the right because the angle, as my stitches come up, I definitely know that they can slightly, so I have to intentionally think about it if I'm trying to make sure the stitches are perfectly straight. Missy's really good about the way her hold is, that they will be straight columns because it pulls more over instead of directly to the right. I've seen people, really fast crocheters, that actually when they are crocheting, they are actually going up versus down or sideways.
I go like this. I fling up.
Yeah. When I crochet, I definitely go like...
Wait, okay, show it. Yeah, this is our crochet motions.
Mine like swirl, like I go in a circle. When I'm watching, I'm like, what am I doing? Like literally.
And I'm gonna go ahead and do some clips of some of the most interesting hook holds.
It will blow minds.
Insane.
It's so cool.
It could definitely work. Mm-hmm. So there's no wrong way.
Here are videos of how people hold their hooks.
Hello, here's how to make a 2 double crochet cluster stitch. Yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops.
Today I'm going to teach you how to hold your yarn. You can wrap it around your pinky finger and your pointer finger, and you can wrap it around your pinky finger again or your pointer finger to give you more tension and when you're crocheting.
Okay everyone, I have a question. How do you hold your crochet hook? And how do you crochet? This is how I was taught, and I've had a lot of people tell me that it's wrong. Let me see. Okay everyone, I have a question. How do you hold your crochet hook? And how do you crochet? This is how I was taught, and I've had a lot of people tell me that it's wrong. Let me see.
That, and that, yeah.
So I have 2 methods that I use for my tension. The first one, if I've got a long row of stitches that I'm doing, a blanket, solid, no little color changes, I will pick it up with my pinky, go across these 2 fingers, and then under the pointer finger. And I just use my pointer finger to kind of pull the yarn, I guess. And then another way that I do it if I have short stitches is I will hook it with my pointer finger, hook the yarn with my pointer finger, and hold it there lightly and just kind of use that for my tension. So hope that helps.
If I was having issues, I use this tension ring.
Big, huge game changer. I hope it helps. Ooh, let's talk crochet terms.
So the next thing I would have loved to know as a beginner is that there is different terminologies for everything. So not only is there UK, US terms, for example, in UK they would call a double crochet is what we in the US call a single crochet, which is very confusing. And we call our double crochets their treble crochets.
Everything is basically a step down.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So the US is a single, UK double. Our double is the UK treble, and so on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also, we've come to find out through our experience working with everyone that when you're looking at a pattern or your video when you're watching and they say, for example, popcorn stitch or a bobble stitch or something like that, you really need to pay attention to how they're doing it because the amount of people that do them differently is just substantial. So don't ever hear or read the word bobble stitch
and just assume it's the same across the board.
Because they all intertwine. There's the different variations within the same one, whether you call it that or not. And then also, some people call them different things just because that's how they were taught it. Definitely pay attention to the actual directions in the stitch if there's not pictures, and don't think you just know because you might not.
Everybody, it depends on where you grew up, where you were taught. They might call the same exact stitch 5 different things.
Here's an example of some of the comments on our stitch when we were doing the bean stitch. We didn't realize that there would be other things that it was called, but here is an example of what happened when we just did the stitch and we asked them what it was called.
Ooh, let's talk hooks.
Our next tip is going to be the wide world of hooks that you might not even know existed. There's so many options out there. There's custom-made hooks, there's expensive hooks, there's Tunisian hooks, there's different materials. So anyways, we're going to go through a brief review of what it is and what we think.
Hooks are very personal to what is natural for you and the movement of your yarn. So just because it is expensive, that does not mean anything when it comes to actually choosing your tool.
Yep, vice versa.
Yep.
Cheap, expensive. First one we'll talk about is like wooden hooks. So right here we got a wooden hook. It's beautiful. This one's not too bad. Another wooden hook that we got. We're not trying to get really fancy here. None of these are super expensive. This one actually is a Tunisian hook.
A corded Tunisian hook.
A corded Tunisian hook. Our experience with wooden ones is they're very pretty to take pictures with, but unless you get a really nice one,
they're not real smooth to work with. They kind of grip.
Yeah, they got texture. They're wood. But I mean, I'm sure if you got a really nice expensive one, like it might be really wonderful.
It needs to be well sanded, I would assume, and maybe a really nice lacquer on there.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have to be careful with it. Next one, of course, is the dear plastic ones. This is what Leanne started with. They're really cheap, really easy. I think these are Susan Bates.
Yeah, I got a huge set of them for super duper cheap, and that's part of why I went with them. And I didn't know any different at first. That plastic, it gets grippy.
Yeah, it can get kind of snaggy. So
stuck on there, even like especially if your hands start to sweat at all and the yarn gets wet, then it actually like it doesn't move smoothly.
Yeah, I'd say the one, which mine's lost right now, but the one exception I found is the Clover and More hooks that you can get, which I have their other brands, but they have a plastic tip and it's very smooth. I was very surprised by.
It could just be the plastic of the.
It could be, yeah.
Set that I got. Like I said, I bought a very cheap set because
they were these ones.
I was just getting started and I wanted different sizes, and it seemed like the best option at the time.
And then our favorite are metal hook. There is metal.
Mm-hmm. They're all depending on the size. They also are color coordinated for the size hook they are.
Depending on the brand.
I mean,
like these are this. So this is like a $30 hook.
Look how pretty they are.
They're so pretty and ergonomic, and
like they handle so gorgeous. They're
something that I like the way that I hold my hook, but for her, it's not her favorite.
Unfortunately, because it's such a beautiful hook and it is weighted nicely.
And then there's like things like this with polymer clay handles, which this was custom made for Leanne to go low for the way that she crochets. These are wonderful. You get them from little small shops, and it was handmade. And I will put the details down in the description of who made this hook. Into the next thing about the hooks, which is the actual hook shape. So this is what gets me that I did not know at all when I first started.
I had no idea.
So I'll try and put it here. So there's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference between the blue one. The blue one is a boy hook, and the hook part actually sticks out further than the base or the shaft.
Yeah, if you look right here, it's wider too. Like,
well,
rotate this a little bit more this way.
These ones don't tilt in, but some of them do. But yeah, there you go. So you can see
this has a flat edge here.
Well,
these taper in.
Yeah, so but the biggest thing is the hook goes out. So, because these ones.
Well, this is a big.
Well, I was gonna say because
if you look at this guy, and you can see that he's like flat.
Yeah, so this one's like a notch cutout, which is the Susan Bates style, so it's completely rounded. The one nice thing about this style, this is the same with my furls hook is the exact same, so there's no tapering. When you're a beginner, this really helps tension because there's no way for you to tighten it too tight and get a different tension. It's just straight, and then there's a little notch out. This is how a lot of the wood ones are too, because they just cut a little notch out. And then there's the Clover, which is my hook of choice, and it is a little bit of both worlds. So the hook doesn't go out past the actual base, but it also tapers and has a nice point at the tip. So it can cut through, and it's a little bit softer on here so it doesn't cut the yarn on the way back. So that's my favorite, and her favorite is
Old Trusty.
This is Old Trusty. This thing has been through years of torment.
See that color? This is the original color.
Yeah. So hers is more of somewhat a boy style hook, kind of similar in the way it is. And this was like a cheap Amazon set. So, like I said, there's nothing right or wrong. Like, she uses the cheapest hooks she could possibly find half the time, unless we're doing something pretty. And
I use the pretty ones for pictures.
Yeah. But she prefers the cheapest. So, like I said, I mean, if you want to geek out and spend a ton of money, go for it. But it might not be right for you, and that's okay.
And I've tried using nice hooks. I have. And I might try it, and I'm like, oh, this works nicely. And then as I'm trying to work the project, I'm like, actually, it's heavy on my wrist, or I'm, there's just so many different things. So just do what feels right, feels good and comfortable
to you,
and it's not hurting you. and especially after like really working into the project.
There's different style handles, and whatever's right for you is right for you. However you hold it, play around with them, use other people's hooks if you know them to see how you like it. It all will just depend on your hands and your brain.
Yep, like this.
And the yarn sometimes.
Like this for, so this one right here, a lot of the clay hooks that are custom, the actual design comes down pretty far. So you see where this is like the hook, it's designed for your fingers. A lot of them will come down to here. Well, when I'm crocheting personally, I move my hook a lot. So the yarn itself slides. That's why Old Trusty really has lost its color, because I use so much of the hook while I'm working it. So a lot of custom hooks I've used, they get stuck. So Missy ordered this one special for me, where the actual handle's so pretty, but it doesn't go down that far. So this actually works lovely. I just got it. That's why she's still got color. Don't you worry, she'll be the new Trusty.
I would like to point out that she's the odd one on that one, I think, because most people want it to be a little bit closer, because the closer it is, normally the faster you can go.
Yes.
But she like does not, she'll go slower if it's that way. Like, we've tried it.
I've tried, because we all like to try and see how fast we can crochet, because it takes so long to do a project. And yeah, it slows me down when I try and use less of the hook. It's just what my body does and does right, or feels.
Nothing wrong with it. And we're going to go ahead and play a clip of some of the coolest hooks we've seen, and we'll link the descriptions below.
Yeah.
How does this?
I'll make a cup of coffee for your head. I'll get you up and going out of bed.
Turn it to this!
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last reason. These are my ladies. This is Jill. This is my lady Amy. Little Susie. Brianna. You know why we call her Brianna, right? No. Yeah, it's a long story. Shaniqua. Helga. Miss Kitty. Jeannie. I dream of, Teresa. This is Teresa right here.
I bought this because I thought it would make me feel like a badass. And guess what? Mission accomplished.
My dad got me these crochet hooks. One moment. This looks like a toolkit, but it's not. It's for crafts. This is one of the, it comes with different sizes of hooks, but this is the littlest one. And they light up, so I can crochet in the dark now. I'm unstoppable.
Would you use one? It's the Boy Ergonomic Crochet Hook Handle.
Nope.
Self-care. If it hurts, it needs to be fixed. So
And start before it becomes a super bad habit.
if it hurts, your hand that holds the yarn hurts, it needs to be fixed. If this hurts, it needs to be fixed. That doesn't always mean that you need to change your hold. It might just be that you need to check in with yourself and breathe.
Yep.
Because it could just be that you're really tense. Like when you start to learn new things, everyone is really tense. And we're just like, so that's when you just need to check in and loosen your grips.
Yeah.
Obviously the yarn hold sometimes has to be really tight, but there's ways to do it where it's not straining your fingers.
Speaking of, also check in with how do your knees feel? How does your back feel? How does your neck feel? What position are you in? Have you become like a slump over person because you're holding your project or getting closer to it? check in every now and then, readjust your body. We use pillows behind our, like neck pillows, to help keep our posture underneath, like as a lumbar system. Really protect your bodies, because this can take a toll on anything that you've got going on.
I'll crochet in a stretched position on the floor to like keep sure, and I do a lot of hand stretches. So yes, here is some videos of different ways that people crochet to help themselves with feeling sore.
Put down your hook or your needle and let's stretch. Give those fingers a wiggle. Let them know you're there. Stretch them. Stretch them really wide. Really check in with those muscles. Ooh, okay. One finger at a time we're going to stretch out. You can do this one hand at a time. I'm doing two. Ooh, takes a lot of concentration on that. All right.
Hi everybody, we are going to work on your best creation tool ever, right here, your hands and your wrists. Feel free to save this reel, share it with your friends, do each of the exercises about 10 times, go slow, but we're going to crank through them right here so you can get them all in. Okay, my favorite one is the firework, because baby, you're a firework. You're stretching, you're squeezing, you're stretching, you're squeezing, and then shake it off, shake it off, shake, shake. Okay, another good one, jazz hands. Fingers flying, shake that baby out. Do some stretching. You're going to want to go slow and easy. Don't force. Up, down, side to side. Do it with both hands. Another good one are wrist circles. Make sure you're going in both directions. Okay. And then feel free to shake it off. In between all of them, do a good shake. Shake with your whole body. Get yourself up, stand tall, and always end and start with some deep breathing. Okay, good luck.
We hope all these videos and this discussion has helped. Sorry it wasn't a technical discussion, but there's so many beginners YouTube videos out there telling you how to do technical things that we decided to teach you guys something that we did not learn as beginners and had to learn just like as we went along.
Yep.
Please let us know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to know. We'll make another video.
What questions do you have?
What questions do you have? Also, if you follow us on TikTok, we might just reply to you straight then with a video. Yeah. Subscribe.
Hit those buttons.
Tap those like buttons. No, I'm just
Subscribe,
kidding.
subscribe, subscribe. That was really hard to say 3 times fast.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching my channel.